All right, welcome to the Harmony Channel. I'm Jason Whitlock, your host. Happy Friday. Thank you for joining me. I want to discuss today, it's just going to be me and you, but I want to discuss today what's going on in Washington, D.C. and why it's important. And what's going on in Washington, D.C. is Donald Trump has sent in or has overtaken law enforcement there, kind of federalized it, and is cleaning up the streets of D.C. and making them safe. There's this whole debate and discussion about, oh, crime is down all over the country, and crime is down 30% in D.C. and Baltimore, and why are they doing this? And we know why they're doing it, because the numbers aren't telling the real truth. Crimes aren't being reported. Crimes are being reclassified. They're, as they said in The Wire, my favorite TV show, they're juking the stats. In these major urban cities, in these cities that have black mayors, just keeping it 100, they're juking the stats and pretending like, hey, things are safer. And, you know, we're showing you that this works, that non-policing and letting prisoners in and out, it works. Crime is down. It's much safer. Violent crime is down. It's not the truth. And D.C. is proving that. And so I want to play you some clips of reactions from certain residents that are thankful, happy that this has happened. Some people are pretending like they're not thankful. And I understand why, because it is disappointing in a bad direction that certain cities, zip codes, demographics have to be over-policed in order to maintain law and order. It's a bad precedent to set. It's foreboding. It's sad for the part of America that doesn't have to be over-policed in order to attain some semblance of law and order. But I just want to play you these clips, D.C. residents and reaction in D.C., kind of back to back, and then I'll have some additional thoughts on what's going on, the crackdown that's going on in D.C. Let's play SOT number 8.
Finally able to chill at a red light with my window down, not worried about if one of them young come in. Ride through the city, feeling more safe than I ever felt. I really just be trolling. But no funny. It has been quiet as shit like for 2 days. That's good. I need to be taking over our loved ones and babies and all that other bullshit. I need to be doing all that.
All right, so that is one woman keeping it real, that this over-policing is working and making the city feel safer. That's probably more of a reflection of reality than all the people talking on TV, pretending like, you know, what a travesty has been done here, and we didn't need this, and things were safer. Haven't you looked at the crime stats? All right, let's play SOT number 9. I think this is a D.C. resident that basically feels like, man, all these extra police should have been here a long time ago. Play SOT 9.
You hear from city leaders and others that crime is actually down. Are you seeing that?
No, I'm not seeing it. We're seeing carjackings, the violence in the communities. So we were advocating then for the National Guard to come out, but they said there was no need. But think about how many lives could have been saved just having them on the scene.
And Asia says still to this day, she's not heard from one detective about those crimes committed against her family. Now for Tempe Satcher, another D.C. resident, her son BJ was gunned down in a random drive-by shooting on the way to work 2 years ago, and she does not feel that crime has calmed down.
Just today, a young lady was shot over on 15th Street in Northeast D.C. Does that seem like crime gone down? With all the things that are going on with our president, you know, sending the National Guards out, I don't have a problem with that personally, because if MPD can't do it and they need help, then I'm glad they're able to get the help.
That's a reflection of reality. And those women were speaking about and talking about people, oh, crime is down. And they're like, man, no, it wasn't. And we needed the National Guard here. And I'm glad Trump did what he did. So that's a reflection of reality. It's a sad reality, but it's a reflection of reality. All right, let's play SOT number 10 here. This is a man, I believe, saying that, you know, many people in the black community, black intelligentsia, black thought leaders on TV and in the media, they don't want to deal with the truth. Play SOT 10.
Black people, shut up. Stop acting like all of a sudden we care about our community. We give them a reason to send the National Guards into our communities. We pew-pew one another and don't care about anybody around us. Before there was rules, children, older people, mothers, off limits. But these young ninjas today ain't following none of the rules. If we care so much about our community, why don't we address the issues that are in our community? Why do we need the president to address our issues? We unalive our babies in a system that was specifically made for us not to reproduce, but we care about our community. You can feel however you want to feel about Trump sending the National Guard, but my question is, was there a reason? And the answer is yes. There is something bigger going on in our community, and we don't want to address it, but all we want to do is point the fingers. Like what I said, hate what I said, it's the truth.
Finally, I want to play this last clip of a young man basically calling D.C. Gotham City and talking about just how wild it is. Play SOT 11.
I don't understand it, and I don't think I ever will. Why the f is people that's not from the city saying DC's not that bad? Why is it from Denver, Colorado saying DC's not that bad and Trump is just trying to be a dictator? Gang, DC is like Gotham City, bruh. Like, y'all do not know. Y'all out of towners, Mo. Mind y'all business, bruh. 4 infants got killed in a month. This shoot is every day. Contact is every day. The city is wild right now, bruh. And it might say it's the lowest it's ever been. That's because these is not getting caught. There's so much shit going on. Y'all don't even know, bruh. I'm really recovering from getting shot in DC, gang. So for y'all out of towners to be like DC's not that bad and this shit don't need to be done, y'all don't know shit, bruh. Like, for real, y'all don't know shit, bro. What Donald Trump is doing right now, getting the homeless off the street and putting all these law enforcement people in throughout DC, that shit needs to be done good. I'm tired of Gotham City, gang. I'm tired of that shit, bro. I'm trying to go to U Street and not have to worry about running from fucking bullets, bro. I'm sick of that shit, gang.
Here's my larger point, and I mentioned this on Fearless earlier today, that clearly there's an uncomfortable conversation that has to transpire that will promote a reality and a reflection of reality so that people aren't denied the truth so that we can take proper actions. And stricter law enforcement is part of that truth. But the ultimate truth is that so-called black culture has, and black racial idolatry has made us live in a state of denial and delusion and not wanting to address obvious problems, the breakdown of family. It's happening to the larger American community, but it is really acute in the black community. And this breakdown of family, all this baby mama matriarchal culture that we have created, and this installing of people that believe in baby mama culture, people that believe in the matriarchy, people that believe in female leadership, has created a level of chaos and violence that is destroying and making all of these cities unlivable. It's hard to develop young people in them. It's hard to educate them. It's hard just to move day to day, to have groceries, to feel safe, for older people to exist in some sort of peace and relative safety. Because all we want to do is sit around and say, well, racism did this. Oh, that black kid shot that other black kid. That black kid robbed that old black woman or old black man because of racism. It's not true. And so what we have to do, and this is what I talked about on Fearless today, just briefly previewing this conversation. And this is where I get crossways with a Nick Fuentes and some of these other white nationalists. I understand their frustration. I understand their fear. I understand their fatigue. But I also understand the proper reaction to it. And if we, instead of racializing the conversation, we need to point out the unbiblical nature of the behavior and of the culture. That is the real problem. And so I've heard someone like a Nick Fuentes say that every experience I have with a black person is negative. And what I'd want to say to Nick Fuentes and any of the Groypers or anybody else that feels that way, what you really are bothered by, it's the unbiblical behavior. You don't have to, and look, is there a demographic that is leaning into unbiblical behavior? Yes, there is. All demographics, but there's one demographic in particular that has said, hey, unbiblical behavior, that's our culture. We're profane towards each other. We're violent towards each other. We prey upon each other through drug dealing and exploitation. We lean into matriarchal leadership. We see ourselves as victims. We're easily triggered and emotional. When we engage with white or black people, our engagement, our energy is negative. It's don't you disrespect me. It's looking for a problem. It's unbiblical. And that's the discussion we need to be having. Because and again, we have to do it over and over and over and over again until it's annoying, until people have to address and look in the mirror and say, is my behavior unbiblical? Is my mentality of, oh yeah, let's just empower women and women don't need men, and let's keep voting for and pushing for policies that make men irrelevant and unnecessary. It's all unbiblical. And there is a demographic that is the leader. There's two demographics, blacks and gays, that are the leaders of promoting unbiblical behavior. That's at the root of this. Everything that you're complaining about. Oh, Carmelo Anthony stabs a 17-year-old boy at a track meet, and my unbiblical response is, hey, let me run to Give, Sin, Go and give the murderer support. Let me go look and figure out ways to blame the victim for getting murdered. It's unbiblical. When someone sees a young, old, any woman that gets beat up and brutalized in downtown Cincinnati, and your reaction is, hey, let me figure out a way to blame it on the woman or some white man, and let me put together some argument that, well, it's the white guy's fault, and the people that reacted, well, they were triggered because they, some guy got slapped or somebody got called, and it's an unbiblical response. The biblical response would be like, hey man, a woman got assaulted and they're knocked unconscious. This is crazy. People are stomping on this man's head in the street who were uninvolved. This is crazy. It's unbiblical. And this lack of biblical behavior, what are the consequences of that? And so what are we seeing in D.C.? You're so unbiblical that you must live under constant police surveillance. We're going to send in the National Guard and extra police. They're all going to be wearing body cameras, and we're going to smother your zip code, your neighborhood, your community in surveillance. You're going to have to sacrifice your freedoms, your right to privacy, because your behavior is so unbiblical. And your love of people that promote your unbiblical behavior because of your worship of skin color. Trust me, if Snoop Dogg was white and promoting all the things that he promotes, you wouldn't love him. But because he's black, yeah, Murder Was the Case, that's a good song. Him putting out songs talking about how he sold his soul to the devil, that's a good song. This is my culture. You went Cardi B talking about WAP. It's unbiblical. But because she's a person of color, black, brown, whatever, hey, that's our culture and we're going to celebrate it. And so, and by doing that, you've placed yourself in a position, and maybe you don't care because your mind has been so brainwashed by the prison industrial complex that you've normalized living under surveillance 24 hours a day. And the reason why those of us that haven't normalized that need to be leery and weary and concerned about what's happening in D.C. is because this is what they plan for all of us. Hey, Jason, you live out in a nice neighborhood, but, you know, we got so much lawlessness going on in zip codes around you. We need to put your neighborhood under constant surveillance as well to protect you. This is, all of this just leads to more and more surveillance, more and more surrendering of your freedom, constitutional, fundamental American freedoms. You know why the Bible instructs you to go to a secret place to pray and to have time with God? It's because God understands the importance of privacy. He wants to surveil you, but he doesn't want man surveilling you because he knows the wickedness of man. And so if you won't submit to God's surveillance, you're going to deal with the consequences of submitting to man's surveillance of you and your neighborhood. You're going to surrender your freedoms. And eventually, when man becomes your surveiller, the person you're serving, the person watching over you, man's going to exploit you. God won't. And so as you reject, and again, you've listened to me make this argument and cop to it, like my retarded self, like, you know, not being married, that's a mistake. That's me being retarded. Me being stupid, rejecting the family structure that God intended for me to have. Thank God, you know, I did produce a kid, and you've heard me share that child was aborted. And I've had to pay the consequences for that. I've talked about that. But I don't have kids. And so I haven't put my irresponsible behavior, it hasn't cost my kid for my stupidity and retardation. But your stupidity and retardation, those of you that justify this baby mama culture, this black culture, this demonic culture, this unbiblical culture, We're sacrificing our kids, just like the man just said. There were 4 babies killed in a month in this D.C. area. The woman that said that. Putting our kids in harm's way. We're putting older people in harm's way. They don't feel safe leaving their house. We got little predators running around everywhere. It's it's unbiblical. And everybody, well, it's not me. And those of you that's like, well, I didn't do it. I did everything right. No, you didn't. Because you're co-signing for this culture. And many of you women that are sitting out there, you don't need a man. You're co-signing for a demonic culture. You're promoting it to your daughters, to other women, to young men, without realizing what you're sacrificing. For your little temporary safety, everybody else must be punished. Because you don't have the discipline, the resolve, the faith to put your desires in God's hands. And basically, and reshape your desires to be consistent with what God wants. I'm going to do it my way. And trust me, I'm talking about mistakes that I've made, that I'm trying to repent for, trying to change and correct. I'm not in denial about. So any of these people you see complaining about what Trump's done here, and oh, they're overplaying, and we're going to get the conversations, and we're going to get the news stories about, oh, look what the National Guard did. They violated this guy's civil rights. Oh, they got too aggressive, and they roughed up this criminal, and blah. You're going to hear all about it. Oh, Trump's a fascist. And you'll never ask yourself, well, who made it so bad that this was the only solution that we could offer up initially, trying to get this thing under control? We did that with unbiblical behavior, the adoption of an unbiblical culture, and the justifying and pouring every ounce of energy into, well, we got to protect criminals. Every ounce of energy. Oh, did you see what happened to George Floyd? Oh, he was going to be a doctor. Rather than, hey man, what's best for the city overall? What's best for everybody in this community? George Floyd has made some stupid, dumb decisions that put him in harm's way. He got the consequence for that. I'm not justifying it, but I ain't gonna lose sleep over it. And I'm not gonna pretend like he's some Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. I'm not gonna pretend like he's some sort of hero. He was not. The matriarchy did that, turned him into a hero. 3 lesbian black women that started Black Lives Matter, and all of you that ran around, well, I don't like the Black Lives Matter movement, but, the slogan or, the sentiment I'm in agreement with. Unbiblical. All lives matter. That's biblical. Anyway, that's my rant for your Friday. That's my sermon for your Friday. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it gives you something to talk about, think about this weekend. We'll be back next week. Thank you for watching.
So divided, stop fighting and stand tall. We used to be a nation, one united. Now we're headed for downfall. God, let your light shine down.